is so cool. Best show ever. The hero chases his serial killer, John Mira, and in the end, he's in this insane asylum toilet, and he looks in the mirror and sees the killer there. See, he's in the John, and he looks in the mirror, so it's like John Mira, and he's the killer himself.
Hey, I haven't seen it. Now you spoiled it. Thanks a lot.
There's something strange about old video games, and not in the old retro collection sense or the graphics were bad type of way, but I mean games that feel tied to a specific part of your life. The kind of games where hearing the menu music from 3 seconds. Let me rephrase that. The kind of games where hearing the menu music just for 3 seconds is enough to transport you somewhere else completely. Sometimes I'll boot up an old game and immediately remember things I hadn't thought about in years. The room I used to live in, the sound of my old PC struggling to run the game, or even some other times the feeling of waiting all day or all week just to play for 1 hour, because maybe you couldn't play as many times as you needed to. Maybe you had to go to school, or maybe your parents said you had to read or something. That type of way. And this feeling can even make you remember what the weather was like. That sense of smell in the air. And the weirdest part is sometimes I remember feeling these things more than I remember playing the game. And that's the reason why old games don't really feel old to me. They feel like a coffin, or what do they call this? Tombs pharaohs live in. Yeah, that's what old games feel like to me. They feel like preservations of time. They feel like digital capsules. And when I think back to those days, I remember I didn't even used to have a powerful PC. When I tried to install games that were a bit higher than the usual size, they crashed a lot. And so I replayed the same games over and over again. I used to play games like Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and it didn't even have audio. I'd play it with a playlist of classical music that my brother used to share with me, and rock and stuff like that. And soon after I came to discover Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and it was so much fun. And Need for Speed Most Wanted, I remember the Blacklist, and damn, those cops were so aggressive. They chase you for ages, and when you reach level 5 with Cross and the Corvette, it was like pure nightmare fuel. And I also had Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne, on that old PC. And at the time, I didn't think of these games as classics. They were just the current standards. They were my games. They were my entire world, my entire life. And when you grow up replaying these same games over and over and over, something strange clicks within you. The maps stop feeling like levels. They start to feel like places. Places you've been to, places you can walk even without needing a map. Vice City doesn't feel like a Rockstar map to me anymore. It just feels like random late nights and walks I could take just looking at whatever. And You couldn't even swim back then. It was all so foreign. It felt like the best part of my life, like an escape. It felt so warm. Even the imperfections, the low graphics, the crappy textures, not being able to swim, the outdated physics, the NPC dialogues that were so scripted. Oh my gosh. Do you remember this one guy with the orange jacket from San Andreas? He had like the corniest and weirdest lines. It was such a vibe running across him from time to time as CJ.
What's happening, homeboy? Damn! You got enough weed to fix this? Hey, let me borrow some money. We dealers stick together, you know. I'ma lick you like Mr. Whoopi. I smoke cause it gives me knowledge. I'm the one supposed to drive high, not you. You, me, weed? What a threesome. I smoke cause it gives me peace of mind. I'ma soak you up like a biscuit. My P.O. don't know I left Santos. Knocking you out and smoking your money. Stoned with a stone cold jab. I'm too high for this shit. I feel my card coming. Hit me. Say, man, what's on special? I said stay, not hit. Dealer, you cheating. Hawk means get the hell on, man. You swole as shit, man. I can refund this tomorrow, right? Can't find them threads at no swap meet. You lift weights? I lift joints. Man, I stole this first. Now I got to steal another car. That essay put dust in my weed. Taxi! If I ever need speed for weed, you the one. Back of your neck look like a pack of hot dogs. I ain't got no money. How about I pay you Saturday morning? Get your hands out my pocket. Man, you stink. Yeah, my money smell like weed, so? You so fat you jumped in the air and you got stuck. Do you shower and do the... What the... It's laundry day, huh? Steal one drink and the bartender start tripping. Nice outfit, high roller. The music gets you high, man. Do it, baby, do it. Uh-oh, getting sweated, man. No coochie for your ass tonight. Man, you dance like a cripple on crack.
And when I think about it now, none of it bothers me because when I revisit these games, it's not really about the graphics that I'm looking at. I just think of who I used to be during those times, that kid that didn't really care about anything. That kid who wasn't depressed. That kid who never used to worry about stuff. It was just me, kid me in my old room. And that's why even now, so many years later, and I'm an adult, when I think back at these games, I can't help but feel strangely emotional. I think when I think back at these games, the game never changed. The game is still the same way it used to be. I mean, we didn't even have patch updates on the time. The person who changed was me. I changed, and when I load up stuff that I used to love as a kid, hoping to experience the same nostalgia, it's not really the same anymore. And that's when the reality of time really settles in. A lot's happened since then. So much has happened. So many people have disappeared. People we used to hang out with. So many versions of ourselves disappeared back from then and now. Like, we're not the same person we used to be. But the game never changed. It's just that we did. I had this same feeling when I picked up Grand Theft Auto 5, and it felt so magical. It felt like the peak of human evolution. But right now it just feels kind of empty. There's this loneliness in the game that never really felt real when I was younger, because back when I was a kid, I mostly cared about putting the most insane combinations of cheats and messing around and just being crazy. But now the atmosphere feels completely different. The world feels cold. The characters, the NPCs, they felt like people, but now they just feel like NPCs, and there's this whole exhausting, quiet feeling. And maybe that's because I changed enough to finally understand what the game was saying all this time. It happens a lot when you get older. Games grow with you, or is it more like we grow with them? You grow into them. I think that's why certain games never truly leave us. Not because they're old, but because we just can't deny that these were masterpieces. They existed during specific moments of our lives when we really needed them. Sometimes we just needed a distraction, sometimes we needed comfort or an escape, and booting up these games were the only thing that made a bad day feel manageable. And years later, when all these emotions feel like an experience from a long time ago, we can't help that accept that the worlds that these games took us in feel like old movies. Except the difference is movies end, but games live forever. We spend weeks with them, months with them, sometimes even years. The moments we existed inside these worlds was long enough for them to become a part of us, and that's why hearing an old soundtrack from a game you used to play can instantly change your whole night, because suddenly you're not remembering the game, but rather you're remembering who you used to be when you played it. And honestly, I think there's something beautiful about that, especially now, because nowadays things move so fast. Games release, there's a whole bunch of reviews, the graphics feel so static, some become trends, some disappear after a week or two, but the older games feel so quiet, more personal, more like memories frozen in time. And damn, those memories were something else. They were so amazing, and maybe that's why I keep going back to them whenever I can. Not just to play them over and over, but more like remember the person I used to be when I played those games. I guess that's just what I wanted to say today. Yeah, that will be all. Bye.